There are many mistakes you can make when it comes to retirement planning, investing, and that bridge between being employed, receiving a salary, to being unemployed, retired, and having to decide how to access your money from which sources. It can be really scary, really daunting, and really confusing. This video is not going to be a long video. I'm going to go through a number of topics and I'm just going to graze over them. I've made 5-minute videos on loads of different topics so far. Please feel free to check them out. First and foremost, one of the biggest mistakes I see people not starting to understand is their purpose. And I don't mean, the overarching purpose of life. I mean, what do they want to do in retirement? What are their hobbies going to be? How are they going to structure their days? What's going to make a meaningful impact? Do you want to spend time with your family? Do you want to spend time traveling? I'm sure it's a mixture of all those things, but it would start to make sense to plan your years. Like, if you retired in 2026, the first thing I want to do is I want to go on a cruise. I want to go trekking through Europe into random European cities that are beautiful. Then I want to go to the US and rent a camper van and do something. You may not be able to afford all those things, but hopefully over the last few decades, you've got some friends that live in some places and you can crash on a sofa or something and live it up a bit hippie style. Whatever you can do to make the most of it whilst you've got your health, whilst you've got your mobility. And I hope you do have those things. Housel, I can't remember how to pronounce his surname. I'm making this video at like 11 p.m. on a Monday. He wrote a book called The Psychology of Money. It's a fantastic book. Please check it out. There's a quote which is, "Financial success is not a hard science. It's a soft skill that's more about your behavior than it is about what you know." And whilst I think it's really important for you to know things about pensions, especially in the UK, it's a little bit different to the US. Those things can be learnt. All of it can be learnt. You've built up behavioral patterns on how you look at money and how you view the world for the past God knows how many decades. And now at retirement, it's all on you. How you access that money, how you use it is really important. How long is it going to last? And so understand your behavior of money. Really address how you've been spending money, how you've been saving money. Have you been diligent? Have you been seeing money as a scarce resource, or have you been living the high life? £100,000 in a pension pot is roughly the average size that someone has at retirement. £100,000 can be a lot to one person and pretty much nothing to another person. The other thing is that when it comes to retirement, we've spoken about purpose, we've spoken about how the value of lifestyle inflation, but how you access and save that money is really, really important. So if you're a higher rate taxpayer, you're paying 40% tax. If you're putting money into your ISA in your final years, it's probably worthwhile considering putting it into your pension. The reason for this is you get 40% relief. The money's then invested, it can grow, there's no capital gains tax, no dividend tax. The thing is that what puts a lot of people off is they go, yes, but it's going to get taxed. The difference is that the pension is like a funnel. I have done another video on this, but the important thing is you get to control that dial. At retirement, when you stop getting that salary, you're technically a basic rate taxpayer. You still got your personal allowance. You don't have to pay national insurance anymore. So it's by far cheaper, but you get to control the metric on how much income you take, e.g. how much tax you end up paying. So getting 40% relief on the money going in, and then maybe paying 20% tax, depending on how much money you need, really is important for you to understand that, especially if you're saving for future generations. I think it is good to have a balance and have loads of different pots you can access, because sometimes taking money from your pension can take a bit of time if it's the first few times you're accessing it, if you haven't set up a regular withdrawal system in place yet. The other thing I want you to consider is how you want things to look going forwards. What I mean by this is the investment solution of your pension. Most workplace pensions are expletive, terrible, but they're there, they're very basic, and it's your job. It becomes your job to understand what you're going to do with it. Most pensions that are set up by your employer, which is the minimum thing they have to do, is underperforming funds that have something called a life styling or life strategy, where they will de-risk, e.g. lower your exposure to equities, put them into safer funds as you get closer to retirement. And what this means is, at some point, and quite commonly, it's not for everyone, you're not even beating inflation, which means the purchasing power of your money is eroding every single year. And some people just leave it there and take the money and it continues. And it can be incredibly damaging for you, because at 60, at 65, whatever age you're going to retire, you're more than likely going to live to like 85, 90, and hopefully longer. You have decades ahead of you. So you can take a educated risk when it comes to investing and hopefully seek gains above inflation. And that's just something for you to think about. If you have any questions, please drop them down. Or if there's any topics you want me to cover specifically, I will happily make that video for you. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.